His name was whispered in hushed tones, a legend spoken of in the darkest corners of the galaxy. He was known only as Razor, a shadow with a reputation sharper than any blade. His targets, politicians, crime lords, anyone foolish enough to draw the ire of those with deep pockets and even deeper grudges. Razor was a phantom, a whisper of death leaving behind a trail of perfectly executed contracts. His latest assignment seemed almost mundane in comparison. A seemingly insignificant historian on a remote research outpost, dabbling in ancient alien artifacts. The historian's name was Elias Vance, and his only value, it seemed, was in the secrets he might have unearthed. Razor, a consummate professional, approached the mission with his usual meticulousness, infiltrating the outpost with practiced ease. Vance was alone, immersed in his work, oblivious to the danger lurking in the shadows. The kill was clean, precise, almost disappointingly easy. Razor disposed of the body, as he had countless times before, erasing any trace of his presence. He vanished into the night, expecting nothing more than the usual payment to appear in his account. But this time, something was different. The historian, Elias Vance, was no mere academic. He was a key, albeit unknowingly, to an ancient and powerful artifact, a relic coveted by forces beyond Razor's comprehension. And with his death, the galaxy teetered on the brink of chaos. Razor's reputation had always been his greatest asset. It was built on precision, on the ability to execute without leaving a trace. But this time, the stakes were higher than he could have ever imagined. The artifact Vance had been studying was not just any relic. It was a key to unimaginable power, a power that could shift the balance of the galaxy. The forces that sought this artifact were ancient, powerful, and relentless. They had been searching for it for millennia, and Vance had unknowingly brought them one step closer to their goal. Razor's mission, which had seemed so straightforward, was now a catalyst for a potential galactic upheaval. As Razor navigated the shadows, he began to realize the gravity of his actions. The whispers that had once spoken of his prowess now carried a different tone. There was a sense of urgency, a realization that the balance of power was shifting. The galaxy, once a vast expanse of order and chaos, was now on the precipice of something far more sinister. Vance's research had uncovered secrets that were never meant to be found. His work had drawn the attention of entities that operated in the shadows, entities that thrived on the chaos and disorder that the artifact could unleash. Razor's mission was no longer just about a contract, it was about survival, about understanding the forces at play. The remote outpost, once a place of quiet research, was now a focal point of galactic intrigue. The artifacts Vance had been studying held the key to a power struggle that spanned eons. Razor, once a mere tool of death, was now a player in a game far larger than himself. The ancient alien artifacts were more than just relics. They were pieces of a puzzle that, when assembled, could unlock a power beyond comprehension. Vance had been on the verge of a breakthrough, a discovery that could change the course of history. And now, with his death, that knowledge was at risk of falling into the wrong hands. Elias Vance had been more than just a historian. He had been a guardian of secrets, a keeper of knowledge that was never meant to be uncovered. His death was not just an assassination, it was the beginning of a new chapter in a story that spanned the galaxy. The secrets he had uncovered were now in the hands of those who would use them for their own gain. The balance of power was shifting, and Razor found himself at the center of a storm that threatened to engulf the entire galaxy. The unearthed secrets, the ancient scripts, and the revealing artifacts were all pieces of a larger puzzle. Razor's mission had been just one move in a game that was far from over. The galaxy was on the brink, and the next move would determine its fate. Razor, the professional assassin, the meticulous killer, was now more than just a shadow. He was a key player in a game of cosmic proportions, a game that would determine the future of the galaxy. The Razor's Edge was no longer just a legend, it was a reality that Razor would have to navigate with all the skill and precision he possessed. As he planned his next move, Razor knew that the stakes had never been higher. The detailed maps, the meticulous planning, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. The galaxy was watching, and Razor was at the center of it all. The infiltration, the stealth entry, the breaking into the facility, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. Vance had been a lone worker, a man focused on his research, but his work had drawn the attention of forces far beyond his understanding. Razor's mission was now about more than just a contract. It was about understanding the forces at play and navigating the shadows with precision. The historian had been oblivious to the danger, but Razor was not. He knew that the shadows held secrets, and those secrets were now his to uncover. The galaxy was on the brink, and Razor was the key to its future. The lurking danger, the hidden threat, the shadow behind the man, all of it was now part of Razor's reality. He was no longer just an assassin, he was a player in a game that would determine the fate of the galaxy. The kill had been clean, the strike precise, the assassination accurate, but the consequences were far-reaching. Razor's actions had set in motion a chain of events that would change the course of history. Disposing of the body, cleaning the scene, removing the evidence, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. The body disposal, the erasing of traces, the cleaning of the crime scene, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. Erasing his presence, leaving no trace, the meticulous cleanup, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. Vanishing into the night, the disappearing act, leaving the scene, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. The night escape, the shadowy figure disappearing into the darkness, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. The payment received, the money transfer, the account balance, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. The mysterious difference, the unexpected change, the unusual activity, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract. They were about the future of the galaxy. The significant historian, the important figure, the key individual, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. The key historian, the pivotal figure, the important academic, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. The ancient key, the powerful artifact, the crucial relic, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. The coveted artifact, the ancient relic, the powerful object, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. The mysterious forces, the unknown power, the powerful entities, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. The forces beyond comprehension, the vast power, the incomprehensible forces, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. The galaxy chaos, the brink of disaster, the impending doom, all of it was now part of a larger strategy. Razor's actions would determine the course of history, and he knew that every move he made was crucial. The galactic chaos, the teetering on the edge, the cosmic disaster, all of it was now part of a larger narrative. Razor's actions were no longer just about a contract, they were about the future of the galaxy. Razor had a rule: never look back. Once the deed was done, he moved on, severing all ties to the contract, the target, the past. Yet something about this mission gnawed at him. A niggling sense of unease, a feeling of being watched. He returned to the scene, a flicker of doubt clouding his usually unwavering confidence. The research outpost, a lonely beacon on a desolate asteroid, remained untouched. But Vance's body was gone. No struggle, no signs of forced entry, no indication of who or what had taken him. It was as if he had simply vanished into thin air. Razor, for the first time in his career, was shaken. He prided himself on his thoroughness, his ability to control every variable, to eliminate all loose ends. But this was beyond his understanding. An icy hand gripped his heart, a premonition of something far greater than himself, something with the power to shatter the foundations of the galaxy. He had to disappear, vanish into the labyrinthine alleys of the galactic underworld. But first, he needed answers. Answers that were shrouded in cosmic mystery and guarded by forces far beyond his comprehension. The disappearance of Elias Vance, a renowned astrophysicist and explorer, sent ripples across the galaxy, causing a disturbance that echoed through the very fabric of space, but not in the way one might expect. It wasn't just the scientific community or the interstellar media that reacted. News traveled through clandestine channels, whispers in the void, reaching ears that were not human. These whispers reached entities far more ancient and powerful than any earthly government or intergalactic corporation. They were the guardians of cosmic balance, the silent observers who had watched over the universe for eons, the keepers of secrets best left buried. Secrets that, if revealed, could alter the course of history, and they were not pleased. The balance they had maintained for millennia was now at risk. A being of pure energy, its form shifting and swirling like a nebula caught in a cosmic dance, materialized on a desolate moon, its presence felt in the very fabric of space-time. The moon, once silent and barren, now hummed with an otherworldly energy. Its presence caused a disturbance in the space-time continuum, a ripple that could be felt across the cosmos. It was joined by two others, their forms as different as night and day. One, a hulking mass of sentient rock, the other a shimmering being of pure light, their presence signifying the gravity of the situation. The being of light, its thoughts echoing with the music of the spheres, spoke first. The timeline has been disrupted, it said, its voice a symphony of celestial chimes. The being of rock, its voice a deep tremor that resonated through the void, added, the balance disturbed. The being of energy, its form crackling with power, declared, The mortal known as Vance, he was a piece, however insignificant, in a much larger cosmic tapestry. The three entities, bound by an ancient pact to safeguard the galaxy from threats both internal and external, turned their attention to the source of the disruption. Their gaze pierced the veil of reality, focusing on the one responsible for Vance's disappearance, the assassin known as Razor. Razor, a shadowy figure whose name was whispered in fear across the galaxy, had set in motion a chain of events that could unravel the very fabric of reality. The Guardians knew that they had to act swiftly. Their ancient pact, a binding agreement forged in the early days of the universe, compelled them to intervene. They had to restore the balance, to prevent the unraveling of the cosmic tapestry. The being of energy, its form crackling with power, took the lead. "We must find Razor," it said, its voice crackling with determination. The being of rock, its voice a deep rumble, agreed, "And we must restore the balance." The being of light, its voice a symphony of celestial chimes, added, "For the sake of the universe." And so the three Guardians set out on their quest, their forms shimmering and shifting as they moved through the cosmos. Their mission was clear: to find Razor, to restore the balance, and to protect the universe from the chaos that threatened to consume it. Razor had always been a pragmatist. He was a man who saw the world in black and white, where every action had a clear consequence and every decision was a matter of survival. His life was a series of calculated moves, each one designed to ensure his continued existence in a universe that was often unforgiving. He had no time for the abstract or the mystical. His world was one of tangible realities and immediate threats. He dealt in absolutes, in the cold, hard reality of life and death. Every mission he undertook was a matter of precision and efficiency, leaving no room for error or hesitation. Razor's reputation as a relentless and unyielding force was well earned, and he took pride in his ability to navigate the treacherous waters of his profession with unwavering resolve. But the more he dug into Elias Vance's past, the more he realized he had stumbled into something far beyond the realm of his usual assignments. Vance's life was a tapestry of secrets and hidden truths, each thread leading to a deeper and more complex mystery. Razor found himself unraveling a story that spanned centuries, a story that defied the very logic and reason he held so dear. Vance, it turned out, had been on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery. His research had taken him to the farthest reaches of ancient history, uncovering knowledge that had been lost to time. Vance's work was not just about understanding the past. It was about unlocking the secrets of the universe itself. He had unearthed fragments of an ancient prophecy, a prophecy that spoke of a celestial alignment, a convergence of cosmic forces that could reshape the very fabric of the universe. This prophecy was not just a relic of a bygone era. It was a warning, a glimpse into a future that was rapidly approaching. The celestial alignment described in the prophecy was a rare event, one that occurred only once in eons. It was a moment when the forces of the cosmos would come together in a delicate balance, a balance that could tip the scales of existence itself. The implications of this alignment were staggering, and the more Razor learned, the more he realized the gravity of the situation. And at the center of this prophecy was a single individual, a seemingly insignificant historian named Elias Vance. Vance was not a man of power or influence. He was a scholar, a seeker of knowledge. Yet his role in the prophecy was pivotal, his actions holding the potential to alter the course of history. By eliminating Vance, Razor had unknowingly interfered with forces beyond his comprehension. He had disrupted a chain of events that had been set in motion long before he was even born. The weight of this realization was almost too much to bear, as Razor grappled with the enormity of his actions. The shock of his mistake hit him like a tidal wave, crashing over him with relentless force. He'd always prided himself on his ability to control his destiny, to shape the world around him through sheer will and determination. But now he was faced with the undeniable truth that he was merely a pawn in a much larger game. He had become a pawn in a cosmic game, a game played by beings of unimaginable power, their motives as alien as the distant galaxies they inhabited. These beings operated on a scale that Razor could scarcely comprehend, their actions rippling across the fabric of reality itself. The weight of his actions settled upon him like a leaden cloak, the realization of his cosmic mistake hitting him with the force of a supernova. He had always considered himself a master of his own fate, a sculptor of destinies. Now he realized with chilling clarity he was nothing more than a puppet, his strings being pulled by unseen hands. The galaxy teetered on the brink, the delicate balance of power shifting with every passing moment. The forces that Vance had uncovered were now in motion, and Razor was at the center of the storm. He was the unwitting catalyst of an impending intergalactic war, a war that could reshape the very fabric of the universe. The realization of his cosmic mistake hitting him with the force of a supernova. He had always considered himself a master of his own fate, a sculptor of destinies. Now he realized with chilling clarity he was nothing more than a puppet, his strings being pulled by unseen hands. He had always considered himself a master of his own fate, a sculptor of destinies. Now he realized with chilling clarity he was nothing more than a puppet, his strings being pulled by unseen hands. Now he realized with chilling clarity he was nothing more than a puppet, his strings being pulled by unseen hands. His strings being pulled by unseen hands. The galaxy teetered on the brink, the delicate balance of power shifting with every passing moment. The forces that Vance had uncovered were now in motion, and Razor was at the center of the storm. He was the unwitting catalyst of an impending intergalactic war, a war that could reshape the very fabric of the universe. The galaxy teetered on the brink, the delicate balance of power shifting with every passing moment, the delicate balance of power shifting with every passing moment, and at the heart of it all stood Razor, the unwitting catalyst of an impending intergalactic war. And at the heart of it all stood Razor, the unwitting catalyst of an impending intergalactic war. The unwitting catalyst of an impending intergalactic war.